Hey guys, today I'm going to be reviewing the new Charli XCX album, Charli. I hope you enjoy. The album opens up with Next Level Charli, and I think it's a fantastic opener. I love how kinetic the song is. It never seems to slow down. The production's really boomy and has a nice sense of atmosphere, and it moves and progresses at a pretty nice pace. And I think Charlie's performance on it, while there is a bit too much reverb for me, I do think it's pretty well done. And lyrically, it's not anything special, but it's a very enjoyable track. Gone featuring Christine and the Queens is an absolute banger. Um, the production, first and foremost, is stellar. Like, it is constantly engrossing, and I love the fact that the instrumental swells around the chorus, which, side note, the chorus is also great. It's insanely catchy, and Charli and Christine have such a unique chemistry together between their verses, and it's kind of helped by the fact that the song has an overlaying theme about kind of being alone when you're around a crowd of people. There's a lot of lines referring to how people make you feel, and this is all supplemented with a great outro as well. It's a banger. Cross You Out featuring Sky Fiera is kind of a bit of a change of pace compared to the first two tracks on the album. It's more slow. It's kind of like an '80s synth ballad, and it's primarily about kind of letting go of a relationship or trying to move on. And I think Charli and Sky don't really feed off each other very well, but they both perform well in their own respective rights when they have their own bridges and choruses. And the chorus at first wasn't very good to me, but upon my second listen, I really grew to love the kind of the over dramaticness of it, and it kind of brings the whole song together, and ended up being another one of my favorites. It's an absolute bop. Go listen to it. I'm not gonna say anything. It's so good. Click featuring Kim Petras and Tommy Cash. I will say this. I think this is one of the more weird cuts on the album, production wise. Um, it sounds like rubber being stretched and put back together digitally. Like it's very malleable, and the outro on this thing is insane production wise. However, that being said, I find the songwriting and the verses, basically the vocals, just really boring. I feel like they waste the production. I think Charlie's is okay, but Kim and Tommy try to establish this weird sense of swagger that does not stick, along with trying to bridge it with this really, really monotonous hook. Um, yeah, it's okay. I really like the production though. A Warm featuring Haim is kind of another case where the production's good, but the verses don't do anything for me. I kind of like how slow and methodical the synths are on the track, but Charlie and Haim, they don't have bad performances, but they're just not great. It kind of falls short for me in that aspect. It's just missing an element to make it kind of more memorable to me. I do enjoy the retro futuristic aspect of the song, but it just ended up being okay for me. Like it's not bad, but I wouldn't come back to it out of my own free will. Thoughts is another case where the songwriting kind of meanders while the production shines. I love the way the production essentially ascends in the synth, like it keeps going up and up and up, especially later down the track where Charlie's voice is complemented with a like digital vocoder effect. But that being said, I don't know. This is something about the lyrics I didn't really enjoy. I feel like they're a bit too basic for a song like this, but Blame It On Your Love with Lizzo on the track is yet again another banger. Like, I love the way the production kind of incorporates these hip hop and R&B elements that just engulf the entire track with like this nice melodramatic atmosphere. And I think it's done very well. Like Charlie's performance, given the fact that the lyrical theme about the track is kind of basically doing stupid things and blaming it on someone else's love, which on paper kind of sounds like a dumb track, but it is really euphoric in my opinion. Like everything just comes together so well. And even though Lizzo only has like a 20-second feature, she still provides a lot to the track that I feel like really brings it all home, especially at the ending, the last leg of the song. White Mercedes is yet again just okay for me. I do like the instrumental. I feel like adding the acoustic element as kind of like an undertone with these R&B snaps provides a nice backdrop. And lyrically, I do appreciate the theme of how she doesn't deserve the love of someone, mostly because of how she is. And kind of the fact that, oh, if I hurt you, I hurt myself. But the hook is just weirdly structured. Like it kind of feels like it's out of order. Like the last part of the hook should be the opening of the hook, and it should just be in reverse for me personally. Her performance is great, but I don't know. The song just does not stick with me. Silver Cross is yet another banger. It's one of my favorites on the album. I love how glossy and kinetic the production is. It's just constantly rapid, and I love the drum break or the bit of the drum break before the last look of the track. Kind of brings everything together in a very nice, holistic way. I think Charlie's performance, given the fact the theme of the song is about what you would do to protect someone out of love, but Charlie really makes you feel like she will protect the fuck out of you. It's it's really really well done, and it's one of my favorites on the album. I Don't Want to Know is also another stellar track in my opinion. Now, at first, or on my first listen, I hated this song. I thought the reverb on Charlie's verse was a bit excessive, and I felt like the songwriting material that was incorporated into the track really didn't grab me. But on my second listen, I don't know, the way her performance and the production harmonizes together really made me heel turn on what I thought of the track. Because every time I listen to it, it's a very slow burn track, but it has such a unique payoff to it. It's so good, so good. Official is yet another slow burn of a track that I absolutely love. I love how somber the production is. It has a very nice progression with it, and the main backdrop kind of sounds like wind chimes or like just very subtle keyboards. It's etched into my head. I think the hook. At first, I wasn't very appreciative of it, but I kind of like how it back ends every instrumental passage quite a bit. And I just think the two once again just meld perfectly to give you kind of this unique experience on the album. Shake It featuring Big Frida, Cupcake, Brooke Candy, and Paulo Vitar. It's weird. It's the most experimental track on the album, and it is quite a unique experience. The opening vocals go like I shake it, I shake it, I shake it, I shake it. And then right after that, it sounds like she gets digitized and then submerged underwater. And then the track goes on this instrumental rampage. Like there's metallic drums, there's like alien droning. It's insane. And she couldn't have gotten a better quartet of features to be as hedonistic as possible. It is just nonstop, like dirty sex talk on the album. And usually it's something I wouldn't enjoy, but the performances are great. And the way the instrumental complements each artist separately is so goddamn good. It's bonkers. It's amazing. February 2017, featuring Claro and Yaiji or Yaiji. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. It's a good track. I don't think it's kind of missing something to make it a bit better, but I do like the house-like production, kind of like the somber, kind of methodical build-up that house music usually has, and I love how glossy it is around the hook. Charlie and Claro are good, but it felt like Charlie was the more dominant performer throughout the entire track. Like if you took off Claro from the track listing, I wouldn't even notice. And the lyrics kind of reflect this theme of regret at a time, February 2017, obviously. And I felt like it could have been a bit better, but I still enjoyed it. And I did enjoy Yeji's verse at the very end. It's a great segue into the closer of the album. 99 featuring Troye Sivan is the closer on the album, and I thought it was really good. Um, the intro production is extremely futuristic. It starts off like very drony. There's a lot of sound play too, like metallicism and rubbery stuff, kind of reflective of the other tracks on the album. Kind of taking those elements and putting it here. Kind of gives off this like space dystopian vibe, and it's great. The hook, at first I wasn't very appreciative of, but on my second listen, I kind of grew to love it. The way it kind of has this weird swagger to it, especially Troy on his performance. And I think the production saves the track for me because I think the hook is good, but I Charlie's verse just sound was just very underwhelming for me. But they both synergize very well as they did on their previous track on the album, and I think the outro is fantastic as well. It's a great ender. Overall, I think this album is a pretty good future pop album. I didn't like it much at first, but I'm glad it grew on me on my second listen because it's one of my favorites of the year. There's a lot more things I grew to love and appreciate a lot more, especially production wise. And some of the hooks that didn't stick with me eventually grew on me. And the sound is obviously the main event on the album. The experimentation is fantastic. The way the future pop element of it kind of bounces off these other genres of like synthwave and hip hop and R&B is beautiful. And I think the bookends of the album are great, the beginning and the ends. I feel like the middle had a bit too much filler for me. I feel like if it was just cut down a bit, it would be a much more concise album. But overall, I think it's great. I'm very excited to hear what Charlie has next. And yeah, I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10.